bit of rubbing under there gets that out. Now, there was already some Gunzilla in there because I use Gunzilla as the lubricant as well, and I'll show you that at the end here in just a moment. So, finished with there. Now I'm not sure if you can see this, but Gunzilla sort of leaves a residue. And you can kind of see that it's still a little shiny. So I just take a paper towel and whatever I can touch with my hand, I get that off. Just because there's no reason to leave the slide lubricated, or I'm sorry, the frame lubricated. See the way that looks. No, that kind of looks the same. Well, if you're using Gunzilla, you'll see that there's definitely a difference in rubbing it off with the paper towel as opposed to your Q-tips. So last but not least is our barrel. And I've polished the feed ramp as well, so you can see that I've got quite a bit of powder residue around the feed ramp and the outside of the lug. And other than that, there's not much there. So I'll go ahead and once again with a cloth. These are just shotgun patches, these 3x3 patches that I'm using. A couple squirts there, you want a nice wide area. So this again is kind of a wax on, wax off scenario where just make sure to get everything wet, and I found that the Gunzilla pretty much does the rest of the work. So I get that end of the lug and the feed ramp nice and clean. Now I do this part first so that as I'm cleaning with patches in my brush that I'm not dragging this into the barrel. So now for the wax off, choose a dry part of your patch there and just as much as you can get. Alright. So as you can see, that is now back to shiny. No scrubbing or anything required. Now I fired this this morning, in fact, so that was about 4 or 5 hours before this video. So now to run a couple of patches down and the bronze brush. This is a this is an Otis cleaning kit. In case you're wondering my methods, I take this with me for hunting, mostly because if I get junk in my barrel, it's easy to clear debris real quickly. The whole thing there's several different versions of the kits, and the whole thing comes in a pouch. It's about that big. I carry it on my belt, and has the cleaning rods and a few patches, and I can even rinse a little bit of cleaning solution in there should I need to clean my gun in the field. But this is also how I clean them at home. So I've made a swab, and I'll apply a couple of squirts of Gunzilla on this first one. Make sure you run a patch first rather than a bronze brush or something, so that you're making sure you don't drag any powder residue or anything through the barrel from the chamber. So I ran my patch the first time through, and I'm going to run a bronze brush to loosen any of the debris behind. And I'll make a patch again. I'll show you real quickly how this patch making works. These patches can be used, they say 6 times, but I find them too dirty to be able to tell whether my gun is clean after 3 times, so I try to use the same side. You can easily flip them over. This is the side I've been using, so that side is down. And pinch somewhere around here for a 9mm. That goes in the middle there. And you pull that a little bit and then fold everything over, and it makes a nice 360-degree patch, and for the most part that's a clean area. So run that through the barrel, and to make sure I get complete coverage inside the chamber as well as the barrel, I do a little clockwise twist while I'm doing it. You can see I get quite a bit out of it that time than using the bronze brush. I'll go ahead and pre-make my next patch. I run a bronze brush usually 3 to 4 times through my barrels to make sure I get all the powder residue out of there. I'll show you the inside of the barrel here in a minute. So I'm through with this patch. This will be the last time I use this patch. And it's still quite a bit dirty, so I'm going to go ahead and run the bronze brush one more time. Now if you haven't had your barrel cleaned, or at least very clean, I could actually look down my barrel prior to using Gunzilla and see that I had some powder residue in the what you would call grooves. The Glocks are a polygonal barrel, and they don't really have a groove per se, but if the low end of the polygon, if you will, sort of forms a groove. But I could definitely see that I had some powder residue in there. And after using Gunzilla, I don't. So now I just run patches until we come out clean, and obviously, as you can see here, this one came out